I also get this question quite often, and I think you're going to be the best person to answer this because, of course, legal is the way to answer this, is how do I kind of protect myself from buying a bad deal? The financial risks that come, we've touched on a little bit of how someone can really get burned if they're not careful about due diligence. But yeah, maybe you can answer this question about how do they make sure they're not buying a bad deal.
Absolutely. Always helping my clients with that. Due diligence is very important when you are buying property. Before you even think of signing anything, I know Cape Town is a beautiful place. South Africa is beautiful. Joburg is beautiful, in general. And you can really just be ready to sign on the dotted line as soon as you see the property. But there's a lot of work that needs to go in before you actually decide, okay, now I know what I'm doing. And that's the due diligence. That's, the process of you saying, okay, if this is not an off-plan property, I'm buying from somebody who's owned this before. Do I understand the clauses in the contract? You need to work with a property lawyer that is qualified, not just any lawyer, because lawyers also have different practice areas. You need a property lawyer, and they're going to help you understand clauses such as the footstoots clause, which means you're buying this as is. It's not really a concern when you are buying off plan because it's new, but when you're buying a second-hand property, don't know if there's such a thing as second-hand, but if you're buying property that has been owned already, you need to be thinking about things like footstoots. It means you're buying it as is, and you cannot sign until there are clauses that will protect you to say what happens if there are latent defects, meaning big defects in the property that are hidden, that can only be uncovered by a professional inspection company. What clauses can be included in the contract to ensure that if there are any defects, they are dealt with before the property is transferred into your name? Because remember, once it's transferred into your name, it becomes your liability. You have to deal with it. If there's a burst geyser, like we've seen in case law, where people lose over millions because of a hidden defect which wasn't handled properly by a property attorney in the contract. And I mean this from the standpoint of you as the buyer need to take steps to protect your interests. So the seller is already instructed their lawyers to draft the contract, or the agents have already had the contract drafted. So it's your responsibility to make sure you understand all those clauses, and you take the necessary steps to have the contracts reviewed, and also change some of the clauses to your benefit. For more information on how to invest in real estate with tax and estate plan integration in South Africa, get your copy of our Lawyer's Guide for international clients looking to invest in business or real estate in SA. Now you can also, using the same link, register to attend one of our Global Investors events. See you there.